Hey, welcome guys to another little tutorial, and in today's tutorial we will be going over the event system. I dramatically changed a lot of stuff in the event system and pushed it out to other classes to make it a little bit more efficient when we're trying to pass values and make it a lot easier. Now, as you see, that's one of the reasons why I can animate stuff now and a lot of other stuff is we're passing the values itself, the bool values, not in delegates so much anymore, because delegates were okay when we didn't have very many things, but now we have crap tons of everything, so we need something a lot more efficient. Now, as you can see, there's some significant changes, and I'm working out some of the stuff, and that's one thing I was doing today. But anyway, the next subject will be not clipping through walls like such, but most of today's subjects will be doing with the event system. So if you came here for other reasons, then I'm sorry, but we're going to have to go over this before we can get to the other stuff. Now, without going too much more into detail, let's get into this. Okay? Now, we went in here and you'll see my values. Okay? These are values that are pushed to every single other class. And you're probably like, well, these are duplicate. No, they're more like references than anything. Okay? And two, they wouldn't be that expensive anyway. I mean, most of the time we're doing pretty much the same thing anyway. But I found this to be a lot more efficient and a lot more flexible. Okay, so we will get into some scripts now. Okay, and we'll hunky-dory into here. Alright, so as you can see, significantly a lot smaller. Okay, and you're probably like, well, that don't look smaller. It is, for the most part. Now, our namespaces have changed a little due to wanting to get the menu items and stuff like that in there, as you've seen there in the me opening and closing. That menu system will quit game, close the menu, and all that other stuff. So it actually works as intended. You need these namespaces, especially in the event system. Not in this script, but other things. Well, you'll need it in this script actually. Now, I did another class called Player Event Inputs. And that's my inputs. So let's take a look at that class. Player Event Inputs. And what Player Event Inputs is pretty much, it holds all those bool values and things like horizontal, vertical, and all this. I moved them pretty much out of here into a pure class. This is not a mono behavior script, so it's like a little clean class. Okay, and I just set all these, bool, 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 public, get grounded, screen lock, pretty standard stuff. Now, this is a thing that we are doing, is you'll see this public void late update. This is nothing but our player move thing. Okay, player moving our weapon based on distance, blah blah blah. And this. I did have it static at one point, but I found that it's more, well, if we want to move into multiplayer and stuff like that, I need this right here not to run and be a pain in the butt. So I moved it into this class just to have it run. Now you'll see this right here, this does not run. Because this is a pure class like this, not a mono behavior, this doesn't run on late update. There's no callback. This could be named, hi, I'm distance. Doesn't matter. You can name this whatever you want. It will not get the callback for late update. Okay? And we're just doing the basic, weapon lerp to local position based on values given to us, which are these values. Okay? And then we got weapon callback. Weapon move callback, which gives a weapon a position and speed. Okay? This is what sets the variables up here. Okay? Now I have this weapon set position. All this is doing a lerp. Okay? From a position to a position at a certain speed. Okay? At time dot delta time. Nothing big. So in our weapon class, whatever weapon we have, we're calling this outside the script. That's why it's public. All these are public because we're calling them outside the script. Okay? And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's not hard. And that's the class. Now, we still use some delegates for change weapon. Running. This isn't going to be in here too much longer, but it's still there. We do reloading, firing. Weapon switch modes isn't integrated, so you don't have to have this line yet. And this lock stuff, I'm technically not using it right now, but it still is there. I could probably delete it and be fine. Now our player controller is being, we're grabbing a copy here. In our start, we're passing a broadcast message with this script and this. This right here, we're passing it so it can subscribe to all the events that we need to happen, like changing weapons, things like that. This doesn't have to be a broadcast message. This could probably be a send message and it would be fine. And then we're also sending our inputs everywhere. But note, this only is received by game objects that are active. If they are disabled in the scene or anything like that, this will not get a callback. Okay? And here's an update. Cursor lock update, blah blah. And we are sitting here just setting our stuff. Mouse button 1, well guess what? We're aiming, right? Well, I got this player state. It's an enum. Pretty easy stuff. Just a regular old, it's not actually in this class. Oh yeah, it's in here. Go to declaration, and there we go. This is all this is doing right here. Keeping track of an enum. Very simple. So we set it. Okay, so if mouse 1, which is our aiming button, we make sure the player is forced into the walking state. Okay, so he's walking, and our weapon, we're we're putting it to aiming. Now you're probably like, why don't you just do one enum? Well, one enum wouldn't be enough, because when you're aiming, you've got to set it to walk state. Okay, and what if you want to go from walking state to aiming, or walking state to crouch? Okay, your weapon behaviors are going to be different from your player behaviors. You know, they might be similar in some fashion, but other fashions not so much. That's why I separated them out. Now, if the aim button goes up, here's where it gets funky. Aiming, the bool value, we turn it to false. But if our running button is false, then we go walking with both. If our run button is down, like running is true, then we set everything that we need to running. Both our player and our weapon into running. Now, if we're down, okay, is running equals true, player state, weapon state, and then we call our delegate. Our delegate tells all the other stuff to happen. Okay? When it's up, we go walking, walking. This, running, just like before. Change weapon, we kept it because it only gets called one time. It's very efficient for what we need. Our mouse button 0 is our firing. We kept it. Okay. Same with the reload. But down here, we're going myinputs.grounded equals controller.grounded. The reason why I put it here and like so is because of our value class here, our input values, okay, where it stores all these things. If we have it in here in one script, and that one script is referenced everywhere, then it's just like checking this bool value. It becomes increasingly very performant because of just it's just that way. Okay, instead of having like 3 or 4 scripts go is grounded, I mean, sure, we could possibly, it wouldn't be that much performance difference, but what if you have like 3 or 4 characters like in multiplayer? What if we converted over to multiplayer and now we have 3, 4, 5, 6 different people and they're all checking this value? Then you start getting some performance problems. Or NPCs. NPCs do use character controllers every once in a while, you know. I mean, there are people that use them. So we do it one script in an update loop. Now this speed variable, this is very good for us because there's a lot of times we need to know the speed of our controller for when he hits the ground, or vice versa. I mean, if he hits the ground and he hits too hard, we want to hurt the player. So we need to know the velocity.magnitude. Or the velocity, okay? This returns from 1 to 0. This works really well in the animator. When you pass in a speed variable, you can go from like swinging your arms and like just going like crazy run to a complete stop very quickly, versus the bool value, which, you know, it's okay, but it takes a while. And this one is pretty self-explanatory. We're taking our values and slam them into the input script. And then the input script goes everywhere else and just goes, hey, I need values. Give me them. And it's very efficient to do operations like this, okay? Versus a delegate where there's 3 or 4 people subscribe to it. And then here's the other thing. They have to be subscribed to it. So sometimes you don't know, and it could be null and a bunch of other stuff. So, oh, and here's the good thing about this. Because this is a pure class, like just a pure class, this always exists. I cannot put this variable right here in and use it like, a float or whatnot. This always exists. It always serializes. It's so I can't get a null reference from this. Okay? It can be overwritten, it can be the script can be deleted and then you'll get problems, but it will always be there. But if I really need to, I can put functions in here like this and have them run when I need them. And that's pretty much it, I think. Except this line right here. This line right here, event current is pointer over game object equals true. We set the cursor lock to false and we return. Okay. You need this, do not forget it. What this does, this function right here, is anytime you're over a UI element, it will tell you, hey, it will return true, okay? And then you can do logic of some kind. Like me, I have it where my player won't move or anything else when the menu is up. When I'm hovering my little mouse over something in the UI, it doesn't do anything stupid. Okay? And this is something else. And the input get lock equals my lock. This in our value class is passing are we lock screened or not, which is very easy to check, but passing a little bool and then every single class can check that bool is like it's super fast. It's way faster than me going, hey, get component and get a reference or have the listener do something. Yeah. Delegates are nice up until you use a ton of them, and then you start seeing performance hits. So that is the event system right there in a nutshell. So now we're going to our basic weapons. Okay. Dramatic changes in here. Dramatic changes. One of the changes that you'll see is this right here. We're passing getting the inputs and then just putting the values in here. Okay. No delegates or anything like that. Now, and that's how you can change it over to use our newer system. Okay. In Anim trans, this is the thing that makes my weapon go back and forth, like a little left, a little right. Okay. This changed from here because of a few reasons. I wanted the weapon to behave a little more, get a little bit livelier, okay? So, I did that. put some animations in it and stuff. But here is the code to do that. Okay, grounded player values equals grounded, then we do stuff. Okay, grounded player values get ground, blah. Okay, then we mathf dot clamp the horizontal. I clamped it so it can only go from 0 to 1. Okay, it can't go over. That way we can keep our animation system in sync, because if you put a float in there and it's like 2.0, it takes longer for that value to come back down, and then your animation's all out of timing, and it's really sucky. Okay, it just sucks that way. So horizontal, vertical, and I added some dampening here to make it blend a little better, which is nothing. I mean, dampening, it's just a float, and I'm doing the time.delta time, very simple. Now this line right here, you may not recognize it. Okay, set animation int player values dot myState. MyState is an enum, but enums are nothing but an array, but with names. Okay, so you can parse them into and have them treated as an integer. They can't do a float or any of that other stuff, but they can be parsed into an integer. Okay, and I'm passing the integer in there for like running and stuff. Now this speed variable is a float, and I'm passing the speed in the animation as well, because here's the thing. When you have a running animation, okay, you're holding the button to run down. But here's the thing. Your controller doesn't care if you're actually moving. It's going to play the animation anyway, which kind of sucks. I ain't gonna lie. So what I did was I put a speed variable on the exit time on the animator. And what that does is anytime my speed is 0, it will just go into the idle state. Okay, if it's faster than 0, then it will go into the running state and things. It's very nice. Now this grounded, it just sets grounded. Okay, this is the input thing, just like I showed you before. Okay, regular old input, but instead, see, I got this player values. See, that's what we need. Player values equals this. Okay, and now equals whatever I get. So when this function is called, we're passing in a player event inputs object. Okay, we're passing in that. So the thing we're passing in, we're making sure that our value class that we have up top is exactly what we're using right now. We want the current one. And that is pretty much it in a nutshell. Okay. We got rid of this right here. This pretty much is a non-existent function. Okay, current position is not even used. Okay. See, this is where I call late update in here. So my weapon is calling late update inside of its own late update thing, because this class is a mono behavior, but or pure class for input values, it doesn't get callbacks from the modern behavior namespace. Not namespace, but inherited from it. So we actually really do have to make sure that it does what's needed. Okay, and I haven't explained any UI stuff. Oh, and here's the change to it. Okay, changing gun equals true, we return out. This right here should be up here. The only reason it's not is simple. If I have this here and I go to try to shoot and stuff like that, it wants to act dumb because I'm in the editor. If you're not in the editor, it seems to work fine. So now, because we have an enum for our weapon behaviors, we can do cool things like this. Here's the running thing. Okay, this is the only thing that runs. When it hits this line, it'll return here, and it will skip doing everything else. Okay, everything else in here. It will only execute the individual code. Okay, same thing here. We're doing our comparing, our weapon move callback, passing in our values, hit position here if we're in walk, if we're in run, we're in hit position, if we're in aiming, aim position at speed. Our shooting still is controlled by this factor right here, this line right here. Shooting equals can fire. This returns true or false. These values are passed in to evaluate conditions, like do I have enough ammo? Am I walking, or am I running, or am I still reloading? A lot of things in there. Okay. And that's probably about it. And there's some other changes, but I don't think they're really ready for you guys yet. And two, I want to discuss the one camera setup that I'm using right now versus the other stuff. So I think I've melted you guys' brain enough. If you didn't catch the code and everything else, please go back and watch it, because explaining stuff sometimes is kind of hard. Words are hard. But if you liked the video, like, hit subscribe, share. It's YouTube. And peace out, guys. It's Wardon over and out.